Don't ask me, Reddit. Already set my life to dark mode. Sup, name's Doug. I've been a consumer of McDonald's since as long as I can remember. With Alzheimer's. Yeah, I like McDonald's. The hamburger happy clown. We love to see you smiling. Okay, you got me. I mean, you could even say that I love McDonald's in more ways than one. Yeah, I fuck the sandwiches. Anyways, every morning I go through that wonderful thing we McDonald's fans call the drive-through, but I simply refer to it as heaven on earth. Just look at those golden arches. What the hell do you think those are supposed to represent? St. Louis? I always order the same thing every morning, so yeah, the employees know me by name. I'm what you call a regular at my local McDonald's. A regular fucking diabetic. Who the fuck said that? Diabetic hallucinations. It happens. Anyways, yeah, they know me. Jeffrey at the window always knows my order. I'd pull up to the speaker and he always says my order before I even speak. Another McMuffin, McGriddle, large fries, 13 hot cakes, a bucket of mayonnaise, and a large root beer today, huh, Doug? Those words every morning make my spine tingle. And something else tingle, too. Yeah. I was visiting my local location here in the great state of New Jersey, also known as the Garden State, but I go to McDonald's instead of growing wholesome vegetables. And no, I won't say where. I'm a private citizen, after all. Thank you. I walked into the restaurant, actually, instead of going through the old drive-through, shake things up a little bit. Speaking of which, I could go for a milkshake. Using my walker to get in. Did I mention that I weigh 576 pounds? I approached the counter. A disgruntled and disheveled-looking employee greeted me, not with the regular McDonald's friendly smile either, might I add. He looked to be in his mid-40s and balding like the great American eagle. Welcome to hell, I mean McDemons, I mean McEvils, I mean... McDonald's, how may I serve you? I told him I would like a large triple cheeseburger meal with a side of 3 McChickens and a delicious Sprite. He took my order after what seemed like 20 minutes of punching it into the computer. And these people want $15 an hour? That'll be 2,450 calories. I mean, $23.43. Will you be paying cash or card? He said begrudgingly. I handed him some of my monthly SSI money. Shame I can't eat government cheese. No, it don't work. I'm a big man. It's hard for me, damn it. He accepted the payment. I waited for about 30 seconds and my food arrived at the pickup counter. I wanted to jump for joy, but doing that would probably put me in a cardiac arrest. Plus, I can barely move as it is. Fuck you. Anyways, I grabbed my food and shuffled back out the door to my vehicle, my trusty '98 Ford station wagon. After arriving home to my single-floored house, I noticed something was a little bit off about the meal that I had received. It was in a regular brown bag as usual, like the ones I keep my guns in, but inside it was something else stuffed inside. Another kind of box. It looked like a typical Happy Meal box, but bigger. Oh, could this have been one of those fabled adult Happy Meals? With a toy inside, hopefully not a vibrator. Well, this was a little concerning considering I haven't had a Happy Meal myself in about 25 years or so. I peeked inside curiously to see if my sandwiches were in there. Oh, and they were all right, along with something else. A black box-looking thing buried underneath all the fixins. I picked it up and it was a VHS tape. Now, I own a VCR, and I actually collect tapes. Little known fact about me. Yeah. I collect adult tapes, if you know what I mean. But unfortunately, I haven't achieved erection with my micro penis since 2004. Anyways, I read the front label, and it had a vintage McDonald's logo on it with the text, McDonald's Employee Training, 1988. This piqued my interest pretty high, like my blood pressure level. Like I've mentioned a few times already, I'm quite literally a huge fan of McDonald's, so this was a pretty neat find. I made sure my oxygen tank was running right. Yes, fat guys need air too, even if they call me the whale. And I slid the tape into my VCR. I opened my food out of its glorious packaging and waited for it to begin to play. Suddenly, the screen flickered and a small notice appeared on the screen. It read, Copyright 1988 McDonald's Enterprises. This training tape is for employee viewing only. This tape is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. An extra pair of underwear is required prior to viewing. Ha. Something that sounded like corporate vaporwave music was playing in the background. Now, I've never worked at a McDonald's, but I sure as hell always wanted to. Imagine having all the free grub you could want and being in the place you worship daily. Unfortunately, I physically am unable to work due to my condition. Yeah, let's call it that. So I sipped on my delightful carbonated Sprite trademark drink and gulped away happily, awaiting the treasures within this tape. Oh, but I was so McFucking wrong, as usual. McIdiot. The tape began with outside of a McDonald's and some cheerful music playing. You know, the typical cheesy 80s training tape music. We see an employee helping a customer at the counter. Have a great day, man, he said with a big douchey grin. He then turned to the camera, smiling abnormally. A big douchey grin. Hi, and welcome aboard. You have been carefully selected to join our ever-growing team. Big douchey grin. This had me excited. I was curious about a behind-the-scenes look at my favorite eatery. I wonder what methods they use to bring a regular like me the best service around. I kept watching intently while munching away on my triple cheeseburger. Somehow hadn't finished it yet. Today we are going to go over some key principles on making the customer happy and smiling always. We'll begin with... He, he stopped talking suddenly as a funky beat began to play. Ronald McDonald, the titular clown mascot for McDonald's, walked into the restaurant. He was wearing sunglasses and a gold chain with a golden M logo. Perhaps an advertisement for the upcoming album, 72 Seasons by Metallica. He had a baseball hat on, too, in a sideways fashion, and what looked to be a grill in his mouth. Could this have been a deep and powerful metaphor for the Burger King? Ooh, I feel evil just saying that. Grill for the burgers. No, he had a microphone and held it up to his mouth and began rapping. I mean, this was the late '80s, so I mean, it kind of makes sense with the music choice for the time, even if Ronald McDonald, what white rapper would have been a little weird. Anyways, he started rapping. Your name's Ronald McDonald. I'm here to teach you something you might not know. Get ready for some lessons with my funky rap flow. We make sure customers satisfied while we salt them up with some delicious French fries. We make sure that the burgers are fat, P-H-A-T. And if you eat enough, you'll surely get fat, F-A-T. This rapping no joke, I'm not playing around. I'm Ronald McDonald, the hamburger rapper clown. I'm a friendly guy. No, I ain't no thug. I'm going to fucking murder you tonight, Doug. All right. So that was a little strange, to say the least. I guess it was just a weird coincidence that he said my name out of all the names in the world. I kept watching to see what would happen next, brushing this off as nothing. The funky rap beat had finished, and Ronald then spoke. Today we are going to discuss the fundamentals of our food processing. Okay, this was a little confusing. I thought we were discussing customer service. Must have been an honest mistake. There's no way there could be a connection between the two, food processing, customer service. I graduated honors in high school, you know. Just kidding. Ronald McDonald walked to the back of the kitchen area to a large door labeled employees only in big red lettering. What struck me as odd was that there were no other employees in the kitchen area. Typical. And these people want $16 an hour? Follow me, he said excitedly while rubbing his gloved hands together. He opened the door to reveal several obese people strapped into chairs with a conveyor belt positioned in front of their mouths. There was constant food being fed to them. Mac chickens, Big Macs, Mac nuggets, Mac doubles, you name it. I was honestly getting kind of hungry, but also creeped out. It sounded like the Russian national anthem played in the background faintly. Don't ask me how I know that. The screen suddenly had a red tint to it as well, which reminded me of my grandma's famous cherry pie she used to make. Fuck, that sounds so good right now. This is where we test our food and feed our customers and ensure they will return to us. Ronald smiled devilishly into the camera. His teeth were extremely sharp, like vampiric fangs. Sharper than I can remember. Oh, this was not normal tape. I was sure of it. I almost puked up my lunch. I was in shock at what I was seeing. Was this really what was going on behind closed doors at McDonald's? Ronald then walked over to a slightly less obese, shall we say, customer. He looked really young, actually. He's my favorite, he snickered, gesturing to the man. Well, I noticed something a little strange about that particular customer. He happened to have the same tattoo that I did. The tattoo of Leonard Skinner, lead singer Ronnie Van Zant's face. I couldn't believe my eyes. I know back in the late 80s that I had a medically induced coma or so, I thought. And come to think of it, I am extremely obsessed with McDonald's now. Could that customer really be? Nah. That shit was really starting to tick me off. More than that one episode of The Tick. So I paused the tape. Does anyone remember that show, The Tick? All of these coincidences were making me hungry. I decided to order my next big meal through Uber Eats for Mac delivery so they wouldn't have to see my face. I bought myself about 5 Big Macs, 7 orders of fries, and I had 6 Mac doubles. Well, there goes the rest of my monthly income. Well, that should be enough. Or so I thought. I took a power nap, and about an hour later, I got notification that my order was approaching. So after starting to get up with my walker, my name's Doug, I have a walker, I shuffled to the front door. I opened the door, and when I tell you I shit my fucking pants, this was the 3rd time that day, too. A fucking clown car was parked outside. I looked around for the Uber Eats delivery driver, and I couldn't see anybody. But then, out of the bushes, popped up a clown. He looked vaguely familiar. Hello there, friend, he said with a smile, holding my beloved greasy goodies in his gloved hands. I greeted him and slowly reached out to get my food because I am a large man. It takes me a minute to get moving, okay? Fuck you. He said, pulling away the food. I have to feed it to you, just like old times. No, no, no way, no way. George Jetson. I slammed the door in his fucking stupid clown face. I was starting to get really pissed off. I could feel my blood pressure rising. I was sweating profusely. I really felt like calling corporate and complaining. I called the McDonald's customer service hotline immediately, but of course there was no answer. And these people want $17 an hour? Bite my fat ass. Well, I was about to consider going back to the restaurant where I originally got the tape, but I figured I'd just finish the tape first. I don't mean eat it. You think fat people just eat everything? We have self control, not much, but a little. Anyway, I shuffled back to my recliner and turned the tape back on. It took some foreplay, but it started shortly. I guess the tape skipped a little between my ordeal at the front door and by the time I got back because a completely different scene was now playing. It looked like the end of the tape. I don't know. Okay, I actually barely passed middle school. hmm Ronald was holding a light bulb and he was smiling. Smiling so widely that all the other smiles in the world couldn't compare. He looked right at the camera, smiling, might I add, and he said, Sputnik, and dropped the light bulb. When it hit the ground, it made such a loud noise. The speakers in my TV almost shorted out, and I heard ringing in my ears afterwards. And the scene faded to black, and we opened to a new one because that's how movies and TV shows and even training tapes work, smartass. So now Ronald was standing in a cap and gown holding a diploma. What the fuck was this shit? Congratulations! You are now a certified McDonald's employee. Good luck, Dougie. He clapped and jumped around, cheering as the scene faded to black. The tape then ended with the text, report to your local McDonald's immediately. Okay, so the only other person to call me Dougie was my mommy, and she passed away 7 years ago, bless her heart. Suddenly there was a knock at my door. It was that dumbass clown Uber Eats driver again. For crying out loud, couldn't he just let me be? He said he wanted to offer me a position at his local business and the pay was great. Well, I considered it to be honest with you. I thought really hard about my current financial situation and I really couldn't down the offer, you see. Now, you're probably wondering where I am right now. Well, after all these ordeals, I'm actually now a proud McDonald's employee. I feel right at home and almost like I've always known it here. I mean, I would like a raise eventually, maybe $18 an hour, but other than that, I can't say that I am beyond all reasonable doubts. Ba 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 ba. I'm loving it. Ron Paul 2016.